full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP Morning Show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, you gumpers.
Hola, bom dia, Martin here from expatsportugal.com with the Good Morning Portugal live stream show and podcast. How are you doing today? Got the turtleneck back on. Oh, it shows up. It shows up all the dust and detritus. Now, we'll come back to turtlenecks because I've got a sartorial inquiry for you. But you can see it's a beautiful sunny morning here on the Silver Coast because to the bottom right of your screen, in many ways, if I was going, let me just turn this lighting up a little bit as well. With all this getting up early in the morning, it puts a few spanners in the works. Jimmy Choo is in the doghouse. I'll tell you why in just a moment. But tell me what you think. Is that distracting, the thing at the bottom right-hand side of the screen? I'm just putting my hand in front of it. Yeah, this thing here. That is your actual sunshine coming through the window. And I don't want to broadcast in the dark with studio lighting. I want us to be able to see out the window and have the sun come in. So maybe it's a sundial as well. If you get a Sharpie pen and mark your screen, you can tell what time it is. It's currently 8:30, so you can mark it up. And then as the sun moves around, I'll give you the time check as the show progresses. And you can create your own sundial by writing on your own monitor. Please don't try this at home. So who's in this morning? I have a visual feast for you for sure. So many great photographs and some posters, some event posters to show you. And talking of events, thank you to everybody who turned up yesterday to the Silver Coast meetup. It was great. Lovely to meet you, Don and June, and to you, Bill and Claire as well. Excellent to see you. All welcome. Wednesdays, 1 till 3 p.m. Yesterday was at the Samar restaurant, one of my favorites in San Martino de Porto. And of course, good on a potentially wet day. It rained a lot yesterday. Ground is still boggy while I was out with the dogs this morning. So it was good to be inside, but I think we will use other venues. We may well go to my other favorite, Palmeira. And as we said, was it yesterday or the day before? It's good to have about 10 favorites when it comes to your favorite Portuguese eateries. I'm just going to tinker with that green screen for a minute. Can make myself disappear again. Look at that. I think that's about right for the time being. We might have to come back to that. Oh, no, that's not good at all. But Jimmy Choo has disgraced himself. Yeah, this getting up early and doing the Vitality in Action thing and having a little meditation session at 7:45. It's all very well, but it plays havoc a little bit like the green screen there with some of the other routines. And Jimmy Choo is in the doghouse this morning officially. He doesn't care. I've just realised dogs live in the moment, don't they? So what they did and what you're angry with them for doing, even 2 minutes ago, they've long forgotten. So if you're disciplining a dog, it has to be done in the moment, doesn't it? And Vitor Costa knows a lot about this, and he'll be with us at 9 o'clock this morning to talk about how the north of Portugal is hot right now. But Jimmy Choo, let me give you a bit of backstory. I had made myself a little ham sandwich. I don't like to eat as soon as I get up, and I've been getting up fairly early, and I was going to come back to it with a nice cup of tea. And so time was passing and we were getting closer to the show start time. I thought, I better take the dogs out. And I had prepared myself a little ham sandwich on the side there on the countertop. And when we came back, I noticed that the dogs had run into the house fairly promptly and quickly. And there was still a piece of bread on the floor on the kitchen floor. And Jimmy had obviously jumped up, helped himself run out and left a bit of a crust on the floor. And little Peggy Pooper picked up the crust. So that was my breakfast gone. And I can't be angry with him because he just took his moment and took it. And I wasn't there to tell him off at that moment, and it's gone. The moment has passed. And maybe it's that peace and love meditation I do at 7:45, which put me in such a good mood as well, full of compassion and love for my dog. There's no point talking to him about it later. It'll be a long gone memory for him. Good morning to you, Chris, who was in at 7:07. He's from the aviation industry previously. He'll like that. 7:07 magic numbers. Hola, bon dia. How you doing, Chris, this morning? Your Pfizer do dia is high tensions. British also, like high tension, Light of the World and Central Line helped break down racial divides in the UK in the late 70s and early 80s. The power of Britfunk, absolutely. And it goes on to this day, doesn't it? And they are associated with the likes of Incognito, Bluey and Incognito as well. What an amazing... Little did they know back in the 70s and 80s that they would still be making music and playing and being loved as much as they are in 2022, right? Tune into jazzfm.com for more of that, but not now, because Baldylocks is here from California. How you doing? Hola Gumpas from him. And T-Duck is here with a couple of those quotes of the day. Oh, I can't see a George Carlin this morning. We'll probably come back to that. And I've got some fantastic music premieres as well as lots of lovely photos. Let's do those this morning before Vitor gets here. Do you know what? In the hurly-burly, I haven't done a ticker tape. I need to do a ticker tape for you. Let's put up the membership ticker tape first. Please sign up as a premium or premium plus member. You can do that on a monthly basis now. We've made it as easy as possible. But I just need to... It's not Andy the Doc Thompson, is it? Let me put that one back up on there and quickly adjust the one for this morning. So what is it? It's moved to Portugal Thursday. So let's get that right. It's moved to Portugal, not Wednesday, which it was yesterday. Great to see the doc sat in the car there. One of these days, he is going to get a tap on the window, isn't he, from the GNR asking him what he's doing. It's moved to Portugal Thursday with Vitor Costa at 9 a.m. And so a little play on words there for this morning. North Portugal is hot. Hot in the sense of attention, I said to Vitor, we're losing people to you, Vitor, us here on the Silver Coast and those in the Algarve. The people who go to look at the north of Portugal seem to like it very much, and we'll hear some of them tonight. On the call this evening, just landed or having just visited on a scouting trip. We're going to talk to a few of those people on the 7:30 webinar this evening. So that's that all done. I need to cough. What's going on here? In a more professional setting, I'd have had a jingle ready for that. But let's go back to your comments and any questions you might have. We've been light on questions. I mean, everyone knows everything about Portugal now in this community, don't they? But for any newcomers who might be lurking, do stick your head above the parapet. You'll be treated with great respect and dignity. And there's no such thing as a silly question, except the question that didn't get asked. Bon dia, alegria gumpas. And actually, for those of you who've been here for a while, and that's you, T-Duck, isn't it? Nearly a year now. I'm sure you still got questions. You know you can ask them here. Stephen Wright, quote of the day from you, T-Duck. I remember when the candle shop burned down, everyone stood around singing happy birthday, oh dear. And the prof is here. Bon dia, meus titteringtons dos negocios estrangeiros. Now, it turns out that the name, apparently, of the Minister for Foreign Affairs here in Portugal is João Titterington Gomes Cravinho. Yeah, and that's what that is a reference to there. And today in Portuguese history, we'll go on to that. But this is the first of my musical premieres today. The incredibly gifted resident musician, the musician, I call it the resident musician, our musician laureate here at Good Morning Portugal, Warren Sharm, has been up to his usual tricks. And my goodness, he has got a big bag of musical tricks. When you hear this, I'm sure you will agree. So let's put the right thing on the screen. I'll have a cheeky sip of tea as well while that's happening. But we've managed to get a different version of the Portuguese national anthem. So here's this bit, and stand by for that music. Please, will you be upstanding? Down. How about that then? That's amazing. Warren Sharm, you sir are a creative genius. Not in need of Victoria's help in rediscovering your creativity. In abundance there, a superb and a real nice, it's like the swingle singers, isn't it? Really beautiful, doo-woppy version of the Portuguese national anthem there to give us, or to set the scene for today in Portuguese History 1, 1962, academic crisis demonstration in Lisbon. The academic crisis was So it's a thing. The AC, the academic crisis, was caused in 1962 by policies of the Estado Novo, including the closure of several student organizations. I guess the students were revolting, as they sometimes can be and do, but no laughing matter here in 1962 in Portugal. Many members of the student organization were opposition communists and socialists, of course, and that's why they would have been cracked down upon. The political activists who were anti-Salazar used to be investigated and persecuted by DGS and were often sent to jail just for having an opinion, right? Aren't we lucky these days when all that happens really is we have an opinion and we get banned on Facebook for a few days. Things have changed somewhat for the better, haven't they? Even though that's really annoying. Students responded with demonstrations that culminated on March the 24th. So that is why it's this day in Portuguese history, with a huge student demonstration in Lisbon that was violently suppressed by the police and led to hundreds of student injuries. And it has to be said, doesn't it? Whilst we have this rose-tinted view, and it's coming up, of course, the 25 de Abril, the Carnation Revolution, there are people still alive, aren't there, who will remember this well. And there may be people, older folk, who were in the police force and the authorities crushing such action. And they live among the Portuguese people now. And I wonder what it's like to be one of those people when you go down to the market on market day or in a similar social situation. Students responded with demonstrations that culminated on March the 24th, there, as you can see, with a huge student demonstration in Lisbon that was violently suppressed by the police and led to hundreds of student injuries. Incredible. And so in such recent history as well. Today in Portuguese history, thank you for the prof for that. Today in Portuguese history too, 1947, Portugal become roller hockey World Cup champions for the first of 16 times. This is such a sporting nation, is it not? So whilst you thought when we were talking about the academic crisis that was one of the academic crisis personnel, that's actually Antonio Livramento, the Pele of roller hockey. Until this morning, I had no idea that there would be a Pele of roller hockey. That's extraordinary and brilliant. And thank you so much, Prof. Eusebio, for that. Good morning, Portugal, from Andrew Gilchrist from the UK there. Good to have you here, Andy. Hola, bon dia, todos, tudo bem, warm and sunny here this morning. And let's play a little video from you, shall we, that you very kindly sent in, Rebel Mama. Here, everybody, are some dogs and cows. Stand by.
Frequently, the cows have dogs with them, which is so cute, isn't it? The dog checks on them to make sure they're okay. This one's going to find out what the heck the other two are doing. This is my beautiful garden.
So much in that little video. Thank you very much, Rebel Mama, for sending us that. So what's happening there? Is the dog walking the cows? It looked like it. It looked like he was in charge and been given that responsibility. If only Jimmy Choo was that sensible. Oh, wow. Joao F., thank you for your communication yesterday. Good morning, Gumpers. We had a little moment remembering history yesterday, didn't we, Joao F.? Baldilocks, hello. Long time no see. Joao F. is here. And so is Francis. Bon dia todos. I'm still alive. Just been manic, but think of you guys every morning. I'm in my edit bubble today, so I can join in every now and then. Yes, you need a little break for your eyes, right? Editing. It's intense, isn't it? Happy Thursday, everyone. And while you're here, then Francis, let's put a few of your photos up on the screen. You've been busy, but you've been doing some of this just recently. Is this where you had breakfast this morning? That's amazing, isn't it? This is the backdrop for the video that he's talking about. And there, I think, what crop is that? I wonder. It's very tall, isn't it? But these are the fruit. They're hops, aren't they? There's a hop field, I think. Quite amazing. Something to do with brewing, perhaps, here. And a nice shot of the building in which some of the filming has been taking place as well. Superb. Staying with the picture deck for just a moment and the mention of creativity on the Vitality in Action program. This is Victoria's contribution. You are already creative. So when you see pictures like that, when you see Francis editing and taking lovely photographs, when you hear Warren's work, and we do have another fantastic musical premiere this morning, thanks to Darren, the tech cowboy, who's done a mashup of our theme tunes. It's quite extraordinary. And if you're feeling, I wish I was as creative as those people, you are, and in your own way, you are already creative, says Victoria Benson. Thank you, Victoria. I'm going to show some of your food as well in just a moment. Whether you know it or not, you make creative decisions all day, every day. What to wear, how to decorate your home. See, turtleneck. What to wear, how to decorate your home, how to decorate yourself, how to spend your time, where to go on vacation. This is very interesting. This is all creativity, isn't it? Where to go on vacay, what to make for dinner, and even who you choose as friends and lovers. All of these choices are an expression of your creativity. My choice of tea not agreeing with me this morning. And once you realize how creative you already are, your creative confidence starts to grow. Superb this morning. Contributions from Cindy B, Ian Turner, Phil Cooklin, Mrs. Munson, and myself over at 50 Plus Vitality, a Facebook group. Okay, let's have a look at some of the publicity that's been sent in as well. So this to come starts tomorrow in Aveiro. Look at this, pretty much a month of festivity, a festa-based enjoyment up there in Aveiro, culminating. It looks like the headliner there is what on the 23rd of April, David Carreira, who I suspect is a top Portuguese act. Other things you might wish to know about as well. Is this one of them, or has this already happened? No, thank you for this. And up there in the Aveiro district again, and that's a nice looking pão com chorizo there. I think that's what it is, isn't it? So from the 1st to the 3rd of April, if you fancy going up to Aveiro and Ilhavo, there's been a lot of work going on in the town of Ilhavo just recently. I remember I used to work up there in that area. And there's a lovely little event that's happening, the Mostra de Folares at the Val de Ilhavo, Mercado de Ilhavo up there, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of April. These little events around the country are always great fun to go to as well. Lots more to come. So we'll stay with food and we'll stay with Victoria. Here are some, here's one. You Americans call that a shrimp, don't you? We call that a prawn. Almost a lobster, right? That is a shrimp from Victoria, from a restaurant in Silvish. I need to give you the name of that, and we've got another recommendation, haven't we? With restaurants that came in from Jean yesterday. But this one from Victoria, where are you, Victoria? In the WhatsApp here at the moment. We've lost you. Oh, no, here you are. The shrimp from the reportedly best marisqueira in Silvish, the restaurant Rui, and his restaurant there, and serving up delightful food of that kind. Isn't that amazing? And then this is the breakfast of champions. Or where did it go? There it is. That's a creative breakfast from the Queen of Creativity in Portimao this morning. And there it is, beautiful chicken soup for breakfast, highly nutritious and colourful and creative and artistic, all in one lovely bowl there. Thank you very much for that. This, not so much. But that is pine needle tea, as made by our mate Nuno Mendes, who was on a scout camp by the look of it at the weekend. And this is a very quick video here. Look, that's it. That was it being brewed, I think. But that's pine needle tea, which has some great health benefits. Please don't do these things without thoroughly researching them. Don't blame us if you cause yourself an injury, plucking pine needles from the forest and making yourself some tea. But next time we talk to Nuno, please remind me to talk to him about that. And I think he's got one or two other photos from the forest. Oh yeah, look at this. Later on that same evening, that's the scout camp, I think. Isn't that brilliant? And I think the fire they've got there is made from an old drum from inside a washing machine. Isn't that innovative? And there's two of them. Look at that. Yes, I'm sure that's what it is. The inside of an old washing machine. Hopefully, Mrs. Mendes didn't go to do the washing on Sunday while Nuno was away on scout camp to discover that there was an integral part missing, which he'd borrowed to make a fire with. Don't worry, it'll wipe down nicely. I'll bring it back on Monday or Sunday night. Okay, loads of comments. Thank you very much, everybody. Francis, great to see you dropping in and out. And Rebel Mama, with that reminder before Lycus Maximus this morning, let's keep on top of it today. Keep on top of your thumbs, everybody. Ooh, sounds painful. Hit the like thumbs up. And yeah, great. Thank you. I think everyone's doing that. And we'll see what happens with that. Bon dia, Carl. More blue skies in Belfast. Loving being outside, doing plenty of gardening. Fantastic. Yeah, and Cindy B and Coach Turner in the garden yesterday, interestingly as well. So our attention turning outside as the weather's warming up, right? And when we have a gap in the rain here in Portugal. Dimitri Martin quote of the day. I was walking in the park and this guy waved at me. Then he said, "I'm sorry, I thought you were someone else." I said, "I am." Hey! And thank you very much for the Stephen Wright video, James, as well this morning. Oh, you sent in a picture as well, didn't you? You see banana slugs everywhere. This I think it's called, isn't it, reticular activation? What's this poster here, by the way, while we're here? The Festival of Soups. Look at that. Very reasonably priced. And pão com chorizo must be the thing that goes with soup. perhaps. I don't know. Where is this happening? I can't see where this is. São Pedro de Nariz, possibly. The Festival of Soups. Another one in from Andy. Thank you, Andy, for all of these. Very well represented for festivals up there in the Aveiro district. You can have a takeaway drive-in, and you can get canja soup, caldo verde, sopa de grão, that's the chickpea soup. Chickpeas that we were talking about yesterday. Sopa de pedra, stone soup, and fish soup at $2.50. The highlight of that menu. I think I'd be having that, the sopa de pedra. There at the 5th Festival of Soups on the 3rd of April, starting at midday. How about that? Thank you very much, Andy. I have a beautiful photograph to show you of a rainbow in central Portugal. Don't let me forget that one. But this is the one I was reaching for. Banana slugs everywhere, reticular activation. Once you see something, you can't stop seeing it, right? It's a bit like when you choose to buy a car and it hasn't been picked up yet or delivered. You see them everywhere, don't you? And he sees banana slugs everywhere. But these are not banana slugs. These are white asparagus, which if you're more familiar with the green asparagus, especially from the Austin Powers movie, you may not be familiar with this rather anemic-looking version. I think it's favoured by the French and certainly the Portuguese there. They are very pale-looking and not very appetizing in my view. I think they need a knob of butter melting on them and some finely ground black pepper and maybe some parsley to make them look a little bit more exciting on the plate. But I'm sure thoroughly nutritious, and we are into the white asparagus season, it would appear, catching James's eye somewhere or other. Okay, back to your comments. Francis, you've been missed. I've missed your presence lately. Happy to see you here, says that aforementioned James of the white asparagus. Bon dia, Gumpers, from Brian as well. And hit the like button, like there. And Owen's here as well this morning. Bon dia, Gumpers. Que su dia seja repleto de alegria e felicidade. Oh, a day of happiness and joy to us from Owen. And right back at you there, mate. Faltam. Is this leaving in 14 days? Is the prof on the ferry journey there? Amazing. It's not P&O, is it? That you might have found yourself in a difficult position there if you had to boycott P&O and you still want to get to Portugal. I wonder who runs the ferries from Plymouth to. It's not Plymouth, is it? Yes, it is Plymouth Santander. Who is the operator on that one? James, thank you from France. It's great to be here. Baddy's here as well. Bon dia alegria from Saya this morning, a place of great cheese. And there are many to choose from, but that is certainly a very famous cheese area, is it not, Baddy? Have you tried it? A lovely day today. Bleak cheese in as well. Bon dia Gumpus, Chris, Joao, Andy, Prof, Owen, Hippie. Baldy and Matty. Gemini also in. Sam in. This is fantastic. Good morning, everybody. And I thought Owen needed a pee, but he's saying hi to Pete. Bon dia a todos from Jeff Jackson. Great to see you here this morning, Jeff, and looking forward to your company this evening. On both Zoom sessions, I hope tonight, this evening. Just landed, and of course the Premium Plus troubleshooting session, catch-up, meet-up, update at 9 p.m. as well. Just a little reminder for everybody. Good morning from Lee McGrady. Good morning, people, no less, as well, from Lee McGrady this morning. And Pam's in as well. And a new name. Always good to see the new names. Dijan Sahara. No, I think was that something to do with the sunshine this morning or how to treat my dog? I'm not sure, but great to have you here, Dijan, this morning. Lovely photo of you there. And Jeff Owen, please tell us more about yourself if you wish, Dijan. Sahara, you of the sands that covered the Portuguese skies last week. None taken from us. Bring your Saharan sand. Dijan, it's good for the soil. Greetings all from Jeff Owen as well. I'm going to ignore the comments. I find it so difficult to do that, but I've got to do this one. When I call people senor, I'm calling them old people. Philomena keeps making me feel like I'm insulting people. I'm sure she doesn't mean to. Morning Lee as well from Peter. And thank you, Pete, for taking care of the bouquet to Philomena and a delivery to the Pascal household. So thank you very much, Pete, for taking care of that on behalf, everybody, of all the Gumpers here. So thanks to Pete for that. It looks like the Gallo is wearing a towel. And that's gone now, isn't it? Yes, he was just coming from the spa. the old gallo there. But now that sun has disappeared from the sky, and I can turn my monitor around back a bit. Hola, bon dia, kids. We've already talked about you this morning, Victoria. Another misty day in Praia da Rocha. I've been enjoying some cozy dinners at home these days. Yeah, it's that time, isn't it? We're ready for spring on one hand, and we're still feeling a little bit autumnal and cozy, a duvet day or two with chicken soup on the other. Right on that cusp. Love a little hibernating, says Victoria, who is bringing us that wonderful rediscovering your creativity information. Okay, who else is here? Sundial will be valid until the 27th of March. Use a temporary marker, then I can get confused again. No, yes, clock changes coming up, everybody. Another new name. This is fantastic. Roman Anankin is here. Bon dia to you as well, Roman. Do let us know more about yourself if you wish. And it's a very warm welcome to you from all these campers here. You and Dajan, who's also here this morning. Did I get that right? Did I say your name correctly? Do forgive me if I didn't, Dajan. Okay, or is that Diane with a soft J, a barely pronounced J in there, not a hard J? She'll let us know, I hope. Went on a scouting trip to Óbidos yesterday afternoon. We'll be returning Saturday for the chocolate festival that was mentioned yesterday. That was fantastic, wasn't it? To get that squeezed in yesterday. Yes, of course, Óbidos Chocolate Festival, and that'll be happening this weekend as well. Talking of great things to go to, Wandsworth Town. Who is that? Who sent in this picture? Wandsworth Town. My view of the Thames River this morning. I used to go to school near there, and I don't know who that is who sent that picture. Could you tell me who you are? I do know who you are, but what happens with WhatsApp is that sometimes just a number comes through, and there's a tiny little picture, and I can't connect the face and the person with the number necessarily. So thank you for that, whoever you are in Wandsworth this morning in the UK, near to where I went to school and grew up. Yes, timing is essential when training dogs. They do life in the now, not in the past or future. Yes, so I can't give him a good old lecture, can I, later on? My ham sandwich that you stole from the countertop, you naughty boy. Shall we sit and reflect on that, on your bad behavior for a moment? Morning, Gumpers, watching the show in VR again. And this, in case you missed it yesterday, this is Darren's view of the show. I will put this on the screen again. Look, this is what it's like to see it in VR. And Vitor Costa will be with us in a few minutes. And he's the sort of person, I think, a youngster who likes a bit of technology, who might also be... actually explaining to us how this works. Morning, Gumpers. Watching the show in VR again this morning, says Darren. Carl is on the equivalent of a 60-inch size screen, and in the mountains, in my mountain vista. That's quite extraordinary. I would feel quite cut off from reality sitting back in a chair like that, like somebody from the Matrix. And spooky, I saw a car with Matrix written on the back of it this morning, just so you know. So quite incredible that. Thank you for that. So we'll learn more. And Darren, of course, did the mashup of the theme tunes, and we'll go out with that today. So do stay tuned for that. It's incredible. He's mixed up the jazz and the whistling together, and I think I'll overlay a few of your lovely photos, including this. This is Anna down there in the south trying to capture swallows. Look, that's what happens when you try and capture swallows in low light conditions, folks. A bit of a struggle there, but we get the gist of that, Anna. Thank you very much. The weather not stopping her photographic efforts. And they are returning, aren't they? Those beautiful birds, the swifts, the swallows, and the house martins. Okay, Pete wishes that Jimmy had been at the restaurant the other day when I was chewing through a slightly waxy, battered pig's ear. Well, so you could have just slipped that to Jimmy. You didn't enjoy that then, by the sound of it, the old waxed, battered pig's ear, possibly there, Pete. Tell us more. That doesn't sound like a restaurant recommendation. This is, however, this is one of Jean's recommendations. We'll go to Vitor in just a moment, who I think is limbering up and ready in the north of Portugal. I need to find out where this is for you. It doesn't look very atmospheric at the moment, but take it from Jean. This is a great place to go, and I need to find out what the name of it is, which I'm trying to do for you right now as we scroll through the many messages that come into the studio. Jean, where did you go? Or maybe, oh yeah, it is the Marisqueira Praça Velha in Tavira, everybody. So Tavira restaurant there, the Marisqueira Seafood Restaurant, Praça Velha for you there. It's 9 o'clock. It's time to go to the north of Portugal with your man, Vitor Costa. Here he is. Say
hello.
hi. Everybody.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hi, hey.
Hanging out under the citrus this morning.
So my plan was to show you Ponte Lima today. I didn't realize it was going to be gardening day. So slightly a bit noisy here.
Oh, well, you sound a bit muffled. Have you got gloves on your microphone as well as that?
Maybe it might be the headphones, because
That's it.
I
That
wait,
sounds
wait.
much better now. That's much better.
Okay, how about this?
That is much better. Thank you very much for sorting that out.
Okay,
So,
perfect.
let me give you the full screen, and you can show us where you are this morning.
Oh yes, I'm just walking across the bridge from Ponte de Lima, where it gets its name from.
Ah,
It's very sunny weather today, as you can see. The other day we had that dust cloud thing. But yeah. Oh, I did want to show you guys one thing too.
I don't know if it won't be flipped on the video, but
one thing he wanted to show us. There you go, everybody. Vitor Costa is here. TheVitorCosta.com. Is that really your website?
it used to be. I have to renew the domain, so I'd appreciate if it nobody would snipe it. But I now found a way to use it. So when I get home, I'm going to update it, and all of my contact information will be there: email, WhatsApp, phone number. So it will be a lot more practical than just hitting everything in drops, depending on the person's needs.
All right, we've got some new people here, Vitor, and they're thinking, what's going on here? This show is called The North of Portugal is Hot, in brackets right now. And we're talking to our man in the North, Vitor Costa. He's just shown us one thing on the screen. What is it you do for people up there in your most unique of ways?
Right. So I started off as a realtor, right? But I figured that just helping people, finding their properties or selling their properties, I felt like something was lacking. And when I started helping expats, I realized that more than finding a place where you can sleep, it's also important to make sure that they'll be able to get here and live. So, aside from getting the utilities and all of these things set up, which I can do, I also, depending on what I feel the client needs, I can also go with them grocery shopping or something for some time. Or, oh, hey, Louise, my feet still hurt from that day. I can also take them grocery shopping, explain how the things work a little bit. I also plan on making a few short videos of these small things so that it will be easier as well.
Yeah.
And, I another thing that I like doing is creative negotiations. Hey, Francis. Good morning, everyone.
Michelle's very pleased to see you. Darren's pleased to see you. Vitor, I can hear the bells clear. If only I could be as clear just reading this out. If I can hear the bells clear as a bell. Yes, we could hear the big dong behind you this morning. And who doesn't like a big dong first thing in the morning? Ponte de Lima stuff. Creative negotiations, Vitor. I think you've attracted a lot of attention suddenly with that. So, do you mean by that, if somebody wants to close on a property there, you're happy to get in the mix and save them a few quid or euros or dollars or whatever they're spending?
Yeah, but that's the thing. I like negotiating, but most people I find tend to negotiate price. I try to negotiate everything that's not price. Oh, as a side note, this is the statue that you can see on Google Maps.
Oh, hold on. Let's just zoom in on that as well. Look at that.
From the Camino de Santiago, where you see the yellow arrow on the bottom, right there. You just follow that and you end up in Santiago in Spain.
That's all you have to do.
Yep. I actually just helped a pilgrim at a cafe before I joined the call. Because they were a bit confused. I cannot. Okay, anyway, so creative negotiations, right? The best example was the new home I got for Bob and Viv. So we found this really huge, detached home here in Ponte de Lima, and they were announcing it for like 650 per month, and it looked amazing, right? And when we went there to see it, there were actually like 3 other people. It was a direct owner listing, so it wasn't really an agency or anything. And, they started looking inside and they were falling in love with it. But then we realized that they were only going to rent the top half of the property. Oh, I wanted to show you this park, but it seems like it's closed. It's a really big park.
You
Oh,
win some,
okay.
lose some. Okay. Are you going to climb
Indeed,
in?
I'll go back. Anyway,
Okay.
I probably shouldn't. So we realized that they were going to rent only the top half because the bottom half they were planning on doing some, construction work and renovating, and the bottom half they would rent for another 500, and they would remove the yard to make it another car entrance and all of these things. And so, they kind of were like, oh, okay, then I guess we won't have it. We don't want just half of it, and so on and so forth.
Mhm.
But then, I scheduled a meeting with the owner. Bob and Bib were there as well. Uh, the owner and her husband were also there. And so we started by offering, hey, you know what? And I've spoken with Bob and Bib about this before. And they were saying that they've been homeowners for I don't know how many years. They're accustomed to taking care of property and maintenance and all of these things. So we offered that, but that wasn't really working too much because since they had plans of renovating the place anyway, if they were to clean or paint or whatever, then it would get taken down, right?
Yep.
So what I also did was like, hey, what if we do this and we negotiated the price, and then you allow us to sublease the other parts of the room because it is a very big house. So they get the whole house, but then you let us sublease. We'll come to some sort of an agreement where whatever income we receive, maybe you get a bit more so you could get some extra income. And the home stays as it is because I knew it was their home until like last December. So they had some connection to the place. And as a result, I got them a whole house for 800. So just 150 more than they would have gotten per half. And
Uh-huh.
she already had a couple that 95% was going to get it. And now we also have an option to maybe they can even make some money or pay some less rent because of that, right? So the other advantage is that now when expats want to come here for a few weeks or months, then we have a place where they can stay. Obviously
Superb.
with their consent, right? So it's the kind of things I'm talking about.
Uh-huh. Fantastic. So that the negotiation, yeah, I mean that's become a very sort of brutal way of looking at negotiations. It's just on price and money, and it looks like with Vitor we live in a richer world, pardon the pun, than that of negotiating all aspects of a deal. And we have Viv is here and singing your praises already, as are a number of other people. We want to ask questions, Vitor. So let's go to some of those. We are enjoying our walk of Ponte de Lima with you this morning. Just in case you've just joined us, that's where we are in the north of Portugal. The north of Portugal is hot right now, and thanks largely to Vitor. Actually, it's gathering the attention or attracting the attention of many people who, if it wasn't confusing enough coming to Portugal and trying to choose somewhere to live, he's made it even more confusing. But the north of Portugal has won the hearts of a lot of people recently, and this is a lot to do with going up there and hanging out with Vitor. And I think some of those people might even declare themselves this morning as having fallen in love with that part of the world. A few other comments as well before we focus in on the north of Portugal. Nothing wrong with the Choc Festival. The problem is the day after. So be careful with that because it's ginger that you'll be drinking out of the chocolate cups, I think, as well.
Oh,
that Joel is talking about.
Yep.
Carl, I'm going to rob a bank now. If no police about, it's fine going by Jimmy Choo logic. Your Honor, I live in the moment. Can you imagine a world like that where people truly lived in the moment? It'd be chaos, wouldn't it? We were at an outside bar once, and the prosciutto was so tough we were feeding it to stray dogs hanging around. Lol. So another restaurant recommendation, as in you're recommended to avoid it. Very true, Joao, from Owen to you there, Joao F. So we have a mutual friend here in Roman, Anankin, Vitor. What is the best city in the north from your point of view? That's got to be for you rather than me, I think, Vitor.
Yeah, perhaps. When it comes to best, obviously, it always depends on your wants and needs. So, Barcelos is my hometown, so it always gets that special place. But Ponte de Lima is just a different feeling to be here.
Yeah.
Also, there is this patch of ground and grass that is wet all year around.
Oh, okay. Why is that? Bad drainage.
No, there's the H2O symbols on the ground.
I see. Okay, all right. What? But why? This is fascinating because Portugal has so much street art, and there's a great investment, isn't there, in public art and street art.
Yes.
What's
Yes.
the backstory? What's the backstory with a public garden there with the symbolic reference to water?
This one, I really don't know. It's only been here a few years, and I'm just as confused as you are.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you for clarifying that. So for Oman, then, the best city in the north, you love in Barcelos, your hometown city, and you love Ponte Lima from where you're speaking this morning. I think Rahman might have his eye on Bragança as well. So Braga and Bragança, what do you have to say about those two places?
It's Braga and Bragança are completely different. I've never been to Bragança that I can recall, but it is on the wish list. I also have another expat who wants to move there in a few years. So I spoke with Maria, so we can go there for 1 day or two. I have a friend there who can also provide lodging, and so I can explore the city and know it better, but I don't know much. Although from what she says, the quality of life is great, and the prices are a lot cheaper than most other places.
Yeah. And here from Braga, loving living in the north of Portugal from our mate Rafael de Furia as well. Have you met Rafael yet?
I have not.
Oh, you guys need to get together. I think that could be a lot of fun if we get you two together in the same place. And a lovely message here. Oh, Wayne Barker and Michelle are here this morning. So morning to you, Wayne. Great to have you here. Bon dia todos from you and bon dia, Carl, and everyone from Michelle. And a lovely greeting for, I'm going to give you the full screen so that people can see this lovely tour of Ponte Lima. To all new visitors to the channel, from Lycus Maximus, Capricorn 12, Chris, we are a lovely bunch of people that share a love of Portugal. Please feel free to ask any questions.
I wanted to show you guys the store.
What are we doing here?
Wait, no, not this one. Wait. There is a store here.
Right.
There is a store here that is so narrow that I think the owner needs to get out before he can even go in.
Okay. Today, of course.
Vai ter that one. Bom dia. Não, eu estou aqui a fazer um vídeo que estamos em direto para o YouTube, todos a mostrar Ponte Lima a estrangeiros que querem vir cá. E estava a mostrar a sua lojinha que fica aqui em Ponte Lima. Como é que chamas agora? Como?
Thank you.
Sim?
Maria do Carmo.
Ok, so importa-se de aparecer na internet. Pronto, so here is Maria do Carmo.
Maria, hola, bom dia.
Eu estou a dizer bom dia.
Bom dia.
I'm with the headphones, so she can't hear. She's the owner of the store. You see a very typical Portuguese store.
Boninho.
Here is the sweetheart's handkerchief. Also a very typical northern custom.
Yeah.
Maria do Carmo, muito obrigado.
Tem essa loucinha também.
Oh, and you also have those patterns in it's not silverware. What's the word?
É bem dos destes dos namorados.
In dishes.
É dos destes dos namorados.
Maria do Carmo, tenha um bom dia. Sim?
Obrigada, meu.
Hello, I'm back.
Oh, how fantastic. Was that Maria, did you say?
Yes, Maria do Carmo. So right here in Ponte Lima, there's a small store there. And the streets, narrow streets. So the one thing I like about Ponte Lima is that it's such a well-maintained city. Like everything is clean, everything is proper. There are some abandoned buildings here and there, which I would love to do something to help renovate them, or I don't know, everything more spruced up. But it's like everything is so fancy, and it's like every year they upgrade something. Know what I mean?
Now, I've got a question though, because it looks very quiet, which is a good thing. I mean, people want to come to Portugal for the quiet life, but basically in Portugal, life doesn't really come about in the cities and towns until what, about 10 o'clock? Is that why it's really quiet at the moment?
It depends. One particular thing about Ponte de Lima is that you can neither be in the middle of a hustle and bustle, or you can be just a few feet away and it's complete quiet. Oh,
Yeah.
I have to shout out this restaurant, Pica Pau. I usually come here with some,
Oh, we've
and
lost
it's
him now.
really, really good. Really
Okay,
good.
pick
Oh, here's the owner. Sr. Fernando, diga olá. Está no YouTube.
Bom dia, bom dia.
Olá,
Esse
bom
é o
dia.
Sr. Fernando. He's the owner. Carlos Manso tem um programa para estrangeiros para virem cá para Portugal.
Ah, sim, então venham eu assim.
Well, he's inviting you all to come eat, and just give me a call and we can all come here.
Oh yes, that's all. That's the only invitation we need. Fantastic. Oh, that's so nice. So we are seeing
Yep.
Ponte de Lima come to life this morning, aren't we? Basically, meeting
We
all
also
the
have a
shopkeepers.
really good ice cream store here, which is not
Ooh.
open at the moment. They usually have some metal tables and chairs and a big ice cream cone, which is a trash can. Very nice.
Yeah, yeah.
You can see the river from here.
Yes, lovely view of the river.
Oh, and also, okay, you know what? I was going. I'm going to ask this after I show you this part because this is our big church here,
Okay.
right? This is our main church. I'm just gonna quickly show you inside so I don't make a lot of noise.
Oh, okay. We'll keep nice and quiet now. Is this okay to do this?
Yes, yes.
Okay, here we go. We're going into the church at Ponte de Lima. Oh wow. How extraordinary. This is superb. Okay, so we are appropriately quiet, and I think Vitor is keeping quiet in there, and that's quite right. But look at that. Isn't that amazing? Hold still for us on that altar, if you will, for a minute there, Vitor. That's incredible. Incredible. Oh, wow. I think we do want to go, don't we? Should we get Lonnie to organise his next coach trip to Ponte de Lima, and then we can take that restaurateur up on his offer. Go see Maria as well. That's so beautiful.
Sure.
That's so beautiful.
That's the main avenue. There's a statue of Dona Teresa. It goes all the way up. Lots of
Statue
roundabouts. And
who's the statue of?
Dona Teresa. She was a queen here.
Oh, okay. But she's known as like as Lady Teresa, or Donna meaning
Yes.
lady. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Lady Teresa.
Yep. And here's the
Okay.
full statue.
Oh, okay. And the
The
significance.
funny thing also, it's about the Vaca das Cordas, which is a yearly event that even though I've been here for like 4 years, I never attended. It has something to do with tying a cow in ropes and then walking her across the river or something. Honestly, I don't know very well. But the funny thing is that the bull statue has been here for years.
Yeah.
And then an alley hop opened up, and their mascot is a giant cow, which is inside, and it's typically outside. So now we have the cow and the bull.
Ah, amazing. Amazing. Okay. Yeah. And these lovely little surprises around every corner. And we expect that, or we are delighted by that. Don't expect it. We're delighted by that wherever we go in Portugal. But Ponte de Lima being no exception to that. Little delights around every corner, lovely people to meet, lots of things to do. And these lovely little
library.
Biblioteca. Good for your vocabulary this morning, everybody. Biblioteca. Anyone who knows French will know that. Okay.
And you have here the stairs for the old prison tower, which is the museum.
Okay. Not
There's
an
a cat.
Yes.
And another cool thing is you can see, can't really see very well on this side, but on this side it's a bit clearer, where you can see a lot of these stones with markings on them, right?
Hey, what are they? Is that the stonemasons who did that?
Yep, that was like the masons' mark, so that they knew who to pay and also who to blame if something went wrong.
Yeah. Okay, we've just got a little bit of a concern. It sounds like Vitor is walking right into people and pushing them into metal tables. That would never happen here. No, it's just a sort of Hollywood style. He's not making a Born Identity movie in Ponte de Lima. No problem there. And Amsterdam, there's a street so narrow you cannot pass if someone is coming in the other direction. Oh, that sounds like fun, doesn't it?
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, and here is also a great place. They have a vegetables with red curry.
Oh,
Really good.
okay.
Really good. This is also a very famous restaurant here for the Vacharavulho. This one is also very good. So there are so many great restaurants here.
Yes.
And there we
Okay.
have Avenida dos Plátanos. So you were
And that,
talking about Ponte Lima, right? And
yes.
the noise and all of these things. So while it is true that at certain times there is more or less movement, typically around this area it's like usually full of people, right? It's
Uh,
starting up now. This whole parking area is usually very full. But if you go to the end of the street, just the other side of that chapel, we have like hundreds of chapels and churches all around.
yeah.
But if you go to the other side, it's like you're almost alone in the middle of nature. It's one thing I find really interesting about Portugal here.
Yes.
Um, sorry, about Ponte Lima is that you can be in the middle of all of the commotion, and then you're like, you know what, I need a breather.
Yeah.
Just walk a few meters, and then it's just you, river or nature or whatever you want, and it's like I don't recall any other place where you can do this.
Yes. Yep, I think that has a lot going for it. That concept of everything you might need in the town, but then it doesn't take long to get into the countryside and get a bit of peace. We have a
That
question for
being
you.
said,
Oh, go on.
yes, Vila Nova Cerveira, really cool, really cool. I've only been there one time, but I was really impressed. I have a great friend, Antonio Barbosa there. I don't know if you guys know him. He's also
What a guy! He's amazing.
he's awesome. And yeah, that was a great place. Unfortunately, when I went there, he was busy, so I did meet him in Ponte Lima though.
Okay. All
Now,
right. So
Carl, why haven't you come here already?
hold on a minute. I will answer that. I'm gonna take that like a politician. It's a very good question, Vitor, and I will answer it. But first, let me just say this: does Vitor have any thoughts about Villanova de Cerveira? And you do, and there you go. Our friend Antonio Barbosa is over that way. Jim, we can help you. So thank you for asking that question. If you're looking for a property over that way, I know Vitor and Antonio can help you together on that. And thank you for tuning in this morning. Superb. Moaz enjoying the language that he was picking up from everybody. I understood agora and obrigado, and it was so nice to hear Portuguese. That was what was brilliant. What is brilliant about this little tour you're giving us. We're meeting real Portuguese people who are so happy and unfazed by being videoed and being on the show this morning. Not that they have much choice in it. Where do you advise me to eat in Ponte de Lima, Vitor? I shall visit Porto in April, and I might make a small exploration trip in the north, says João F. So you showed us a few of those places, but where are you going to take João F?
Well, when he gets here, I will ask him a few questions to figure out what he's in the mood of and what he wants to eat, and then I will pick the best place appropriate to his wants and needs.
Okay, very good. A person-centered. No generalizations here or judgments. Restaurant Pica-Pau in Ponte Lima. So yes, that was the one that you showed us as well, wasn't it? Pica-Pau is a particular kind of Portuguese dish. Could you tell us what that is?
Oh, I don't think I've eaten it, but I think it's like thinly sliced pieces of meat.
Yeah.
But actually, I learned about it on the Portuguese version of Kitchen Nightmares. So there's a Portuguese chef that would go to these places in order to pica-pau and do it, and that's where I saw it, but I never had it.
Okay.
Pica-pau also means woodpecker.
Oh, does it? Okay.
It does.
So you're not ordering roast woodpecker or anything like that, because that is probably against
Oh,
the law.
no.
Pete
Because
wants to know. Go on, sorry.
so pica or the picar, the verb, means to like to prick or to poke something.
Yeah.
And pau means like stick.
Yes.
So pica-pau because they poke the sticks, right?
Okay, got it. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. Pete's asking, looking forward to seeing Louise's video with you, Vitor. So have you guys done a video together in the beautiful city of Ponte Lima?
We did. It was mostly about the city, not really about us, but we did.
Excellent. I'm so glad to hear that. I'm looking forward to that as well. So good call, Pete. And is it agricultural or commercial, would you say? So it's a bit of both, isn't it, Ponte Lima?
I would say so. On that garden that was closed, they actually have a very small museum. It's like €1 a person, and you have like two rooms. One has a bunch of wine casks and all of these things, and the other room has like a 30-minute video of the whole. That's always on a loop of the lifestyle in Ponte de Lima, from sowing the seeds to harvesting, some of the events, all of these things throughout the seasons. It's mostly focused on the flax production.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still largely agricultural. Most families here have at least cabbages in their backyard, right? Lots of people have chickens, all of these things. It is obviously developing more. It is also a very touristic town. So the center, has big. Oh, and one thing I didn't mention that I don't know if you noticed, but the cool thing about Punta Lima also is that you can't really, for the most part, put up ads and flyers and all of these things, because they really want to keep the village as old and traditional as they can.
Okay. Yeah. No. Well, when we see it like that, that's completely understandable, isn't it? I think Louise really enjoyed going to the church with you. She said it was more impressive than Alcabasta Monastery, and that is high praise. I mean, that is saying something, isn't it? And Pete's saying here, what a beautiful church. We just love how modest they look from the outside and how stunning they are inside. Thank you, Vitor. That's the truth, isn't it? That you very often, it's very modest looking from the outside, and almost, you would walk past it and not give it a second thought, and then you step in and it's stunning, just as you showed us there. That's amazing. Thank you, Antonio F, for these lovely stats. Ponte de Lima is a villa, small town with about 5,000 inhabitants. The municipality has the same name, with 43,000 according to the 2011 census. So thank you for that bit of context and backstory there. Yes, the title of the show today, Northern Portugal is so hot. And I mean that in terms of attention and, the focus for people who are coming over and having their hearts and minds won over by the north of Portugal. What do you think it is, Vitor, that is doing that apart from yourself?
That's a great question. Maybe because, but this is probably a bit more the way I am, because the more I'm overexposed to something, the more I start wanting to see something else, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Because,
yes.
I don't really have the expat perspective. I was never, a foreigner trying to look into this country, wondering or not to move here. But I can guess that if I were outside and I never knew about Portugal and I was looking into it, I'd probably get a lot of information about Algarve and Lisbon and Porto. But I don't know if there would be a lot more information about the other places.
Yeah.
So that might be why, because I think everybody for the most part knows of those areas.
Yes.
And maybe some other areas from people who they know, and we have a community here, so people tend to be drawn towards the locations where others already are, because they become more familiar, they know what to expect. But when it comes here to the north, I mean, some people are getting more exposed to it, and also we're able to see some things that you can't see in other places. Like, every place is different.
Yeah,
so that might be the reason.
But there is definitely something going on at the moment, for sure, with the focus of attention on the north. Vitor, look, there's a question from Pedro Martins, who's in this morning. Where are you from in Barcelos? You are probably a cousin of mine. Look at that. I have locals from Barcelos.
My goodness.
So you may well be related, you two.
So I'm originally from Galegos Santa Maria.
Okay.
And it's actually the parish where the Portuguese rooster was born.
Really? From that actual place? That's amazing.
Yes.
That's the great tradition of the rooster. The Barcelos cockerel. So you're so directly connected to that, which gives you extra creds in my view. Market Day always has local produce and farm tools, including winemaking equipment as well from Viv. Tell us about Market Day. When is it? Is it every day, or is it just a few days of the week?
Every other Monday and every other Sunday.
Yeah.
So here in Ponte Lima, they do it like that. And you see that whole street that I did, Avenida dos Plátanos, with the big trees. So that whole area up to the bridge, and then an equivalent area to the other side of the bridge, the whole thing is a farmer's market. All
Oh,
of
wow.
those car parking spaces, that is all replaced with tents.
Amazing.
And
Amazing.
the actual street as well.
All right. So Mondays, good to go to. I'm from Arias de Vilar. Do you know that place?
Yes, yes, yes. Actually, I know of a house that is there for sale. That is
Oh,
really,
wow.
really big. If anybody is interested, wink, wink, nudge,
Okay.
nudge.
Yes, there we go. A little tip there. Vitor is right, says Pedro. The North is not advertised, but the North is a gem. And we're happy to advertise it here once a month at least with Vitor here. Any questions for him, do stick them in the chat and we will get those to Vitor and he'll be happy to answer them, I'm sure. Superb. Thank you for your walkabout tour this morning. Is this the best way for people to get in touch with you that you've got on your screen there, Vitor?
So that is going to be my virtual digital card.
Okay.
Virtual digital card, virtual business card, right? I'm going to set it up so that when you open it up, there will be my image and there will be like several buttons, like one to call me, another one to send me a message, another one to send me a WhatsApp, another one to send me an email. Or you could press a button, add that automatically to your contacts, and then you have all of my information there that you will need. Okay, I finally arrived at the point I wanted to show you.
Okay. Oh, okay. We've still got more to see. My goodness.
They did this like a water staircase.
Uh-huh.
And the other day, actually, when I came here with Louise, is that an owl? I think that's an owl.
Wow.
When I came here, oh, no, it's not. It's not. Okay, there's the head. Okay, it's like a swan. All right. When I came here with Louise, you couldn't see the stones.
Okay, so what happens? You go and paddle in there, or is that for fish or something like that?
Oh, yes. On this side, they do a lot of paddling. We actually have a gold medalist here.
Yeah.
And there's the bridge right there.
Amazing. So, sorry, I didn't understand that. The water ladder is what, like an artistic thing, or is it is it a practical thing? Can you go and walk on that, or do fish use it to go up the river?
Not really. You do have like a river beach on the other side that some people can park on that side and they can go there to the river.
Yeah.
But this is more just artistic.
Yes.
In fact, amazing. I think they did this a few years ago. It's like almost everything here in Ponte de Lima. Okay, not almost everything, but a lot of things that I've showed you today.
Yes.
I've only actually been around for a few years. Like those statues, the soldier statues that they talked about many times on your show before.
Yes.
They also were put there fairly recently.
Yeah. Wow, we love it. We love it. Thank you so much. Advertise it, yes, says Joef, but don't let it be spoiled, please. This is the great paradox, isn't it? In sharing these lovely places,
yep.
It means that more people will want to go there. Are there places to live right in town? Can you get accommodation and live in the town?
Yes,
Michelle?
yes,
Okay.
yes. For
Very
sure.
good.
I've seen last year there was like a 2-bedroom that was just renovated, and I think they were asking 140,000.
Okay.
140.
Very good.
By the way, I didn't mention, but if you go all the way back, you can go for several miles on the Eco Via.
Yeah.
That you can only go by foot or by bike.
Yes.
And another, 20 miles or something in that direction, that you end up in Ponte da Barca, Arcos de Valdevez, towards Spain. So if you're into nature, this is a really good place for it too.
Sounds great. That sounds wonderful, doesn't it? Walking and biking there, away from the cars. Superb. An observation from Pam about real estate. And I've got another question for you about real estate. And I will come back to your question about visiting. When I first came house hunting in Portugal in 2004, there were only 1 or 2 websites related to finding properties in central Portugal. And we had to explore on our own. So things are changing, and we've got wonderful people like Vitor and in there in Ponte de Lima, and Wiley, of course, in Cascais, and we're building that network. Northern Portugal, the modern day gold rush. Louise does an amazing job at introducing the world to some of her best kept secrets of Portugal. Just love watching her videos. Yeah, a lot of love for your videos this morning. Pedro is a fan as well, I believe, if I saw that. So many comments today. Thank you, everybody. Good morning. It's a question for you from Abel Pinheiro up there in Ponte in Scotland. Good morning, people. Question for Vitor. Why is well known for being the garden city of Portugal? Do you know the answer to that?
That is a great question, but I not really. I actually haven't been to Viseu much that I can remember either.
Well, yeah,
So,
the interesting news that emerged this week, Vitor, is that Chinese artist Ai Weiwei has actually chosen to live in, or has, I don't know if he's living there, but he has a home in Viseu now. And we might have a little look at that. I said Tara and adios to you a little bit later on. But yeah, this question that I sent you this morning, and what can we do about this? It's quite extraordinary that I saw this on a Facebook group this morning, and I'm going to read it out. I'm not going to give the person's identity, but they make a very good point.
Sure.
They say, asking for a friend, as I am clueless to answer. And I think this is genuinely asking for a friend, not asking it themselves. I have friends wanting to relocate to Caldas de Rainha, which is near me, of course, on the Silver Coast. They have a good budget, but are now very wary of estate agents and the market in general. They have been following a property that was listed at 600,000 euros, a bit above their budget. Then they saw it listed with another company at 700,000 euros, a lot above their budget. And then yesterday listed at 450,000 euros with yet another agent, and that's probably within their budget. Says this person, that's 250,000 euros difference from lowest to highest price. They are now nervous about the market and have asked me to recommend an agent. I honestly don't know of an agency in particular. Can you please be so kind to suggest any reputable agents? Now, this does go on in Portugal, doesn't it? This madness with the prices, and it's confusing for people. Unsettling them. What is the future of this, and what's the best way for foreigners to go about addressing this, do you think?
So the answer to that question, actually, I feel like we need to explain a little bit of how the real estate market works here in Portugal.
Yeah.
So to give you an idea, the real estate market here in Portugal, is completely different from many other countries. Like in America and Canada, you need to, take the classes, pass the exams, which depending on the states can be very demanding. You need to know, I think how to make mortgages and how to evaluate properties and this and that and all of these things. But I've never taken a license there, so I'm going by what other agents told me. Then you have to pass the ethics tests, take an ethics courses all 3 years. You have your own license. If, for example, you do something unethical and you get reported, then you might lose your license and you can't do real estate anymore. Here in Portugal, however, if you want to sell real estate, you just knock on an agency's door. Hey, I'd like to sell real estate. And they're like, okay, so I'm right here. Right. Yeah. So if you couple that with this idea that many people have that, they have this idea that, so how do I put this? So when Portuguese people think about almost every other country, they assume that they're all rich and we are poor, which to some extent that is true, right? We don't earn as much as many other countries and all of these things. But then when they see that there is, a job where you can just knock on a door and you're able to put up houses on the internet, and if they sell, you get at least like 5,000, which isn't really the case, because they forget all of the commissions and fees and all of these things. They see it as easy money because, hey, I just have someone sign a contract, put it on the internet, I'll sell it, and I'll make a lot of money. Mm-hmm. So what happens also is that our industry isn't regulated. Almost anybody can do it. Let's say that an agent really messes up and he gets kicked out of his agency, just goes to another agency and continues working there, right? Now, as for the different prices, I know a lot of really great real estate professionals, right? Some of them only do 10 million plus giant deals like hotels and all of these things. And they all seem to say that the real estate market in Portugal is still in like an embryo stage. Yeah. Still being developed. Everybody wants some sort of MLS system where you can have access to all the data, all the properties, everything is transparent. And then when it comes to, for example, listing properties for sale, so since most agents don't really, really go into this because they really want to serve people, they go into this because they see it as easy money. They don't really care about training or this or that. And so when they go, for example, they know someone who wants to sell their home, and they go in there. So they have a meeting, blah blah blah, and of course we need to have a listing agreement signed before we can legally show properties and all of these things, right?
Yeah.
So what happens is, when one of the biggest things here in Portugal, one of the biggest objections that the homeowners have is whether or not the contract is in exclusivity, meaning that only that agency can promote the property, right? And most people don't want to do that. So instead of the agents learning how to show their value, show what they can do, and all of these things, they just go, okay, if you don't want exclusivity, then we'll sign an exclusive, and you can put it up for sale with as many agencies as you want. And as a result, like if you have it on 8 agencies, they can't all be the same good professionals, right? Because at least here in Ponte Lima, over 90-something% of the listings are open listings. So you see many of the properties on several different agencies, several different websites. Then the owner itself will also have a listing, right? So it's all a mess, bad pictures, bad everything, because why would they invest in good pictures if they think another person can sell it instead, right?
Yeah.
And so the strategy for most agencies is not to have a listing and get that listing sold. It's okay, let's have 10 listings and see if one of them gets sold.
Yeah. Which
as a result,
good.
Yeah. And as a result, instead of them really focusing on doing the work the best way possible in learning, marketing, and all of these things, they just go with tricks. Oh, hey, if we lower the price, maybe more people will buy.
Yeah.
And what others do is, so let's say that there's a home that maybe is worth, I don't know, 350, 400 euros, 400,000, right? And then the guy goes there to list the property, and the owner is like, oh, I'll only sell if it's for 550.
Yes.
Right? And the guy will be, okay, so you want 550. That's perfectly fine. Let's do an open listing. Then we list it for 550 plus 25,000, which is our commission. And then, okay, they agree with that. And then when they go on the internet, okay, but let's put it at 650, because if someone buys for the 650, we get to 75,000 extra, right? So we get more commission and all of that. Or then, since people want to negotiate, then we can start at that higher price, which, it may work for some people, but I don't really see that as a really good strategy. As I said, I think negotiating is part of what a real estate agent should do. And I prefer, having a set price. So, check what the fair market value would be. Of course, there will always be some wiggle room. But then if somebody wants to make an offer, instead of just arguing the price, we just compare features. Okay, all right, I understand what you mean. Yeah, that's 10,000 below asking price. But tell me, like, what can you see on the market right now that has this, and that characteristic that you could get for 10,000 less?
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh, you know what I mean? So that being said, that's what happens when you have multiple listings of people who are more interested in their own commission than with serving the client. They'll just do whatever. You often find listings with different square meters, because some people use the total area, others use the usable area, others use the total area plus the dependent area, which has like the garages and balconies and things like that. And that's why sometimes you have the same property where the price per square meter is like 400 in one and 2,000 in another one.
Yes.
So
yeah, I think Pete's agreeing with you. You're spot on. Estate agencies like the Wild West over here, plenty of properties that are privately listed. We bought ours directly from the builder, which of course, if you find the right place, the right person, and you've got the right contacts, you can find yourself a nice bargain and a lovely place to live. But generally speaking, the state of the market is challenging and it's difficult for people who can't come as well. That's part of the problem, isn't it? People who are viewing from overseas
Yeah,
can
yeah.
get
That's even more challenging. That's even more
yeah,
challenging.
and it can put people off, can't it? It can put people off even
Oh,
wanting to.
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. Like they were asking about good agents and all that. And one of my biggest struggles ever since I've been on real estate is finding great professionals that I can trust and I can work with.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
every day I talk to so many agents that it seems like everything they do is to prevent a sale. Like I
Yeah.
actually I'm helping one of my friends buy a property, invest in a property in Porto, and she called the listing agent, and she actually got yelled at on the phone because she was asking for the property documents, and
Yes.
the agent was telling my friend that she was being very inexperienced and immature because she was asking for the documents. She would get the documents after she sent a proposal and the proposal got accepted.
Really. That's mad. That's a little bit of real estate gaslighting, I think, there, and hopefully that will change. I suppose I want to end this part of the conversation on a positive note. So my question to you is: do you think it's heading in a better direction?
Absolutely. And I'm doing everything I can to make sure it gets there. I have a few other people who are working on it as well.
Yes.
My team leader and mentor, Nuno Venceslau, which has over 35 years of experience in business, 25 in real estate. He's been the last 18 years with Remax, and the last 7 of those, I believe, he went to open Remax in Brazil, and he also changed the market there. He's now with EXP Realty. I'm working directly with this company,
Mm.
and we are all like this better group of agents. Let's say we're all looking for ways to increase transparency. We also have some tools, some market analysis tools that are paid, and we use them. That like scrub every listing on the internet. They kind of lump them together. So instead of going to Idealista, Imobitual, Casa Sapo, OLX, all of these things, they find all of the properties that are the same. They put it on the same listing. They show us all of the websites where it's listed, the different prices on the different websites, all of these characteristics. So, and they're also trying to create partnerships with all of the biggest agencies here in Portugal, so that they start sharing data, right? How much a property is sold for, how much it was bought, all of these things, so you can actually get more accurate information about the market, which at the moment is the biggest challenge, because there's not really an easy way to figure out accurate market numbers. Most of the information you have is the asking price, and then you kind of have to compare with other similar properties in the area, see, do the comparative market analysis. So
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad you're doing what you're doing, and that's why we love working with you. I mean, we would love it to be so much better for the members, of Expats Portugal to come and enjoy the life that so many of us enjoy here, that people aspire to, but to have that part of the journey managed a little bit better, because it is, people are investing in a home. They're parting with considerable amounts of money, and they want to make their future here. And I'm looking forward to the days when that's a little bit more professional and less
yeah,
stressful for people. And I'm
I
so
would like to
chuffed.
add one thing too,
Yeah,
which is I believe that we are in a totally different market and a different technological evolution. And I think real estate agents also need to adapt to account for that.
yeah,
Because as I don't know who it was, but they were saying that they bought a home or were looking for a home in 2004, and there were 2 websites. We're in the information age. Like
yeah,
when a client comes to me, there's a very good chance that they probably know that specific market they're looking for better than I do,
yes,
because they have all the information at their fingertips, right? You go on the internet, you go all of these websites, you've seen like maybe 50 to 100 properties before you even contacted an agent
yeah,
or thought about contacting an agent, right? And so I think our job is changing a bit from, finding properties or whatever to, helping negotiate, helping make sense of the price, helping figure out what areas and locations would be important for you. And especially when it comes to expats, I think that's even more important,
Yes.
particularly those of you who haven't even come to the country yet and are looking for your home so you can rent and you stay. So that's what I've been doing. In fact, I tell a lot of my clients, hey, I know you've probably watched a lot of properties already. So send me the links of all of the ones that interest you.
Yeah.
Let me know if you're interested in buying some, if you're not, and then we can start from there. Otherwise, I also have a better feeling of what you like. Because
Yes.
right now, the extra I can do, and I can do, is like off-market deals, things that I know that the owner wants to sell, but
Okay.
are not listed online. So that's one thing I can do, but most of it is online nowadays.
Okay.
And there's that it feels weird this gatekeeping a lot of agents have. Anyway,
Yeah, understood. Thank you, Vitor. Let's have a look at a few of the comments then that have come in that you've stimulated from explaining that to us. Thank you for explaining, Victor. You sound like the guy we'll be contacting, say Fiona and Simon. Love the walkabout as well, so thanks for that, Vitor. Vitor is certainly our man in the north and a terrific negotiator. He just arranged a terrific long-term rental for us. Some love for you there from Viv. Darren, when we get there, Vitor is one of the first people on our list. I already have his number in my phone. Look at that. Your number's on people's phones. Vitor is full of interesting facts, has an excellent dry sense of humor. 5-star rating. Yes. And Vitor, Louise owes you a foot soak. Next time I'll bring you some soothing peppermint foot rub. So she walked you
oh,
into
that
the
sounds nice.
sound of it. Have you been in the Marco in the Melgaço, where the am I saying that right?
Oh, I
Melgaço,
have not.
where the
Melgas.
Portuguese begins. Melgaço. Okay, yeah, I think we all need to go there, don't we? And quick question about the river: is it navigable? Fancy an extended 3-day boat trip with Alex and Luke, looking like a great candidate. So, can you sail up and down that river there?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't think you can sail down, but
You're not
you
seeing
probably can sail up.
Okay. All right. Rebel Mama, a bit of feedback for you, Jim Rincioso. Not much English spoken up along the Rio Minho. We live 10 minutes from Villanova de, what was that? Cerveira for 6 months. Fun to go up to Spain from there as well. So, Rebel Mama, a fan of the North, as we know. And that's for you, Jim. Is it true that barking dogs are a real problem in Portugal and that their owners don't attempt to keep them quiet like in other countries? I suppose the simple answer is yes, but it's all about perspective and context, isn't it?
Yeah, and depends on the area. Unfortunately, there's still a big culture of keeping dogs in chain just because,
Yeah.
dogs that they aren't even protecting anything. Usually because a grandkid or a kid or something says they want the dog. So, okay, we'll get the dog, but we'll keep it on a chain so we don't have issues. And
Yeah.
so sometimes it's there. I used to work with dog behavior, so dogs barking is a special trigger for me.
Yeah, of course it is. No, we really appreciated finding that out about you last time. So the video we played with the dog taking the cows out, the dog is the guard of the cows. They raise the puppies with the cows, and sometimes they have a bell so the cows will follow them. Isn't this brilliant? My friend had one, but it was too friendly to people, so we gave it away. Okay, and you'll like this, Vitor. Dad joke warning, everybody. Why do the cows have bells? It's because their horns don't work. Ouch! Bon dia from Cindy B this morning. Bon dia alegria. Gumpers, a wee bit of blue skies this morning in Nadaduru. And a thought here. If I remember rightly, you're not a big soccer fan, Vitor. Is that right?
Not properly, but I can say that the house I got for Bob and Viv has like a Benfica bar in the basement.
That's superb. Today is the day, folks. Portugal anthem, when we played it earlier, made Francis think of the World Cup playoff this evening. So a big match tonight, fingers crossed for Portugal. And to Roman, who we spoke to earlier on. Roman Anankin was asking the question about which recommendation for the city in the north of Portugal depends. As you said, Vitor, and Rebel Mama agreeing, what size city? Do you want ocean, river or countryside? Also, there is not much English spoken up here unless you're in Porto or Braga and you really need a car. So we suggest to you have a meeting just like Louise did and many other people are doing. Bob and Viv have a little walk around the town, maybe not as far as with Louise, but have a little walk around the town with Vitor, have lunch, have a chat about that. He is our man in the north.
Yep.
Final word then to you, Vitor. Thank you so much for such a lovely tour this morning.
Right, and why have you haven't come here yet?
Oh, that was the question I was avoiding, wasn't it? Okay.
Ha 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 ha.
It's difficult.
Give
Family
me
life.
one valid reason why you won't come here within a month.
I'm going to hit you with the Portuguese reason. Family commitments. But I do want to
For a
come
whole month?
for the rest of our lives, Vitor. No,
Well, you bring them over then. We'll find you a place.
that's the answer. It needs to be for a weekend. We need to come for a weekend or longer, and maybe on the Friday we do the show from the north on the Friday, and then we stay for the rest of the weekend. And we need a place with dogs, and you can help me with a bit of dog training as well.
Okay, yeah. Then let's find you a bed for Bob and Bib's home, and you'll stay there.
Look at this. That offer's come in. That's superb. Brilliant. Okay.
This wasn't even planned.
No more excuses, right? No more excuses. We'll have a space soon, Carl, for all of you. That's fantastic, having added the dogs in there. Thanks, Vitor. Greatly appreciate you being on. That's my sentiment, as well as Darren's here in the comments. And it's been so
just
so
a
much.
small side note for anybody who'd like to contact me. I will be mostly away for the 25th, 26th, and 27th because I got a digital ticket for Grant Cardone's GrowthCon, and it's going to be a very big event, and I want to attend there, but I will later.
All right, thanks for that. Oh, we're with the Romans now.
Wait, will this flip?
Yes, I'm going to give you all a screen for this.
Am I sideways?
Yeah, no, you're perfect. You're perfect with all your Roman buddies there.
Oh,
look at that. That's amazing.
There's so much flare with the sun, I can see.
No, it's just your halo. It's just your halo. You are the man. There's no turning back now, says Joao F. Well, so thank you so much, Vitor. Really appreciate it this morning. Great to hang out with you. We'll do it again next month. Have a great day. TheVitorCosta.com will be the place to go very soon. And in the meantime,
just give me a few minutes or an hour or something, and I'll get all that set up.
Yeah, or if you get in touch with me on the number on the screen there, I'll always connect you up with Vitor. Have a great day. Lots of work, mate.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye for now. I didn't want to say goodbye this morning. That was so much fun. Wide-ranging walk and wide-ranging conversation as well. Please post Vitor's number, says Suze. Drop me a line, Suze. You know where I am. I'll make sure you're connected up with Vitor. No problem there. Might need a reminder, but I will gladly do that for you. Awesome show. Love Vitor, don't we all? Isn't it fantastic? Great show. Thank you from Louise. Thanks, Vitor, as well from Sam. Guys have to go. We all do. We're just coming up to the 10 o'clock here, Antonio F. You are the legit guy, says Pedro. And maybe my cousin too, my cousin Vitor. Brilliant. So just very quickly then, Ai Weiwei, look at this. Has made his home, or one of them anyway. I suspect he's got a few homes around the world. But from CN Traveller, that's Condé Nast Traveller, isn't it? Let's have a look at what he has to say. I always feel comfortable everywhere, says Ai Weiwei, from the rural cottage he recently bought in central Alentejo. The revered Chinese conceptual artist and dissident has spent much of his life in transit. As a boy, he moved with his exiled father, the influential poet Ai Jing, I think I've pronounced that correctly, to desolate northwest China. As a young artist, he relocated to New York City and lived there from 81 to 93. And now we hear about his journey to Portugal. At the start of the pandemic, he arrived in the village of Monte Moranovo, where he shares his property with foxes, moles, and porcupines. Since the move, he has launched 2 major shows, Rapture in Lisbon. So you can see Ai Weiwei's amazing work in Lisbon, and Ai Weiwei and Tralaçar in Porto. So big exhibitions in the big cities, Lisbon and Porto, and that's they'll be available through the summer. His work brings him to the city, but he feels most at peace in the countryside. The view goes far, far away, and you can see the edge of the empty land, he says. That's the luxury of my life here. Now, I'm a bit confused because I thought he was in Viseur. And I didn't think Viseur was in the Alentejo. But anyway, I arrived in Portugal without any knowledge of the country. I grew up in communist China, he says, and my father received a medal from the president of Portugal many years ago, which he presented to him at the Portuguese embassy in Beijing. That's all I knew about Portugal. I had lived in Berlin for the last 5 years before moving here, but in the end, the Berlin winter is too long, and I don't like that the days are always grey. It makes me sad. And here are some lovely pictures from him and some of the lovely food locally and him at work in his lovely house there. If you drive 40 minutes or an hour, you get to very beautiful beaches, he says, where he lives in Alentejo. Beaches where there's not even footprints in the sand. It's so empty and so beautiful that you can't believe it. In other places, any beach like the ones here would be full of tourists. It's so true. Even without the pandemic, they are very quiet places. You more or less feel like you're on a private beach. Sometimes we also go near the Vasco da Gama Bridge in Lisbon, the Tagus Estuary. When the tide is low, there is a huge tidal pool with all these crabs, clams, birds. I have never seen nature like this. Évora, yes, I'm mixing up Évora with Viseu. That was the problem. Évora, he says, is a very beautiful city. The architecture, the market, the restaurants. I really like the markets in the places that I go here because they reflect the history of the area. They show you how humans behaved in the past. You see a lot of things that are no longer used. You try to imagine that past time, what their lifestyle was. And here, there's no haggling because they give you an honest price. What a lovely portrait of Portugal I will give you. Should we go to the last paragraph here and see if that's a great sign off for this article? With Rapture, this is the show, I think. You collaborated with Heritage Tile House. Oh, so a lovely collaboration with a Sintra Azulejo house. How did that come about? And he says, I have a great interest in porcelain and ceramics since the 1970s. My compatriots make superfine quality porcelain. Of course, they do in China. So here I saw the tiles and understood that there is tradition. I like working with them. I always try to integrate different kinds of language to give tradition a new interpretation. The Viúva Lamego factory is impressive, and they were up to the challenge. So a lovely collaboration of Portugal and Chinese traditions there. Ai Weiwei's new exhibitions in Lisbon and in Porto. Isn't that fantastic? And I think Terrell thought we might be able to get him on the show. Do you think we could get Ai Weiwei to chat to us here? I wonder. If you want to learn more about him and his move to Portugal, it's in the chat now. There you go. That's in there. I'm going to pop off now and drink my coffee. And I think the game, Moaz is asking, is 7:30 for the England-Turkey. I said England because I'm thinking of my home team. And my home is now Portugal, of course. So Portugal-Turkey tonight for the World Cup playoff. Let's hope they roast Turkey. Well, hey, thank you for that joke, whoever it was who served me that. Bon dia from Pedro. E ati amanhã, Carl. Thank you. Até amanhã to you too, Pedro. We'll see you then. And we have Mia Esmiraj from the Mia Esmiraj Academy talking to us about learning the lingo and all about the culture. It's been a delight to be with you here this morning. What's this? Highest percentage of likes I've ever seen, 42 or 51. Can we get to 100%? Amazing. You've got a chance to do that before we go, because I'm now going to premiere the amazing second piece of music I'm sharing from Darren this morning, Tech Cowboy, who's done a mashup of our tunes. He must be a guest on the show. Should we see if we can do that? Carl, come visit, but your dogs will have to be Portuguese and stay outside. No problem with that. They need to be with us and they can stay outside. So our webinar is in competition with the football match. Please come to the webinar. Please have the match on in the background and keep me informed with the result. Feeling good in preparation for Feel Good Friday. Yes, with Mia tomorrow. That's fantastic. We'll see you tomorrow. See you tonight, though, for the webinar. We'll see you Premium Plus folks at 9 p.m. for your troubleshooting Q&A and catch up. So I'm going to play the tune. I'm going to play the mashup from Darren. This is amazing, Darren. And over the top of the tune, you will see a few of the visuals from today, starting quite randomly with shrimp, plus a lot of other things that I'm going to play you now. Where's that gone then? Where's my music? I did have it set up earlier on. It's so disappointing when that happens. Building up to a big finish and a big shrimp on the screen. Is this one playing? That's so weird. I have lost my music. I've lost my music, but I'm not going to be daunted by that. I'm going to find a different way of playing it. Here we go. I'm going to play it for you now. Let's hope this works. Here we go. This should work. There you go, folks.
In Portugal, there Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show at GMP.